What the heck was that? Hey guys, Randy here, and welcome aboard the CB Traveler channel. Hey, check it out. We are going to step out of Arizona and head into New Mexico for a quick weekend trip. I'm on my way to my final destination. I wanted to stop by White Sands National Park, check that out, and then I also wanted to stop in Alamogordo. There's a museum I want to see and just kind of check out this old, it looks like an old rusty building complex. But first, let's check out this rest area that's just up here. Alright, well, thought we'd get started off here. Been on the road for quite a while. It's the St. Augustine Pass. This pass has always provided the best access through three mountain ranges. The Oregon to the south, the San Andreas, and San Augustine to the north. It was chosen as the route for US 60, one of the nation's first coast-to-coast highways. Nearby Oregon Mountain yielded copper, lead, silver, gold, and zinc. Gypsum sands glisten to the northeast. So I think there's some more storyboards just up here. We'll go check those out. But I think that's what the white sands, the sand dunes are made out of. That's what makes them white, is the gypsum. So, but let's cruise down there real quick. Look at that. U.S. Army, let's see here. Nike Hercules missile. Anti-aircraft missiles like this Nike Hercules were once stood guard around many major U.S. cities and facilities during the Cold War. So this is what they would test at the White Sands missile range, which is right next to the White Sands National Park. 41 feet tall, 31.5 inches in diameter. At liftoff, it weighed 10,700 pounds. Went about 2,500 miles per hour. Wow, there's lots of information here. This is a beautiful mountain range. Look at this. Nice view way off in the valley, and then we're going to continue down and get down to the park. All right, let's see. Wide range of activities and services. Living on the edge, desert bighorn sheep. Recreation in southwestern New Mexico. Well, there's some petroglyphs. Wow. This is a nice little stop. And we're gonna go through. I want to stop going through Cloudcroft once we're done with the White Sands. White Sands National Monument. Yeah, this is cool. excited to get back there. Man, that is huge. A living landscape, life all around you. I gotta say, it's really nice and cool right here. This breeze feels good. All right, let's hit the road. I'm excited to get down to that White Sands National Park. All right, well, that was a neat little stop. That was a huge, those air defense missiles, those things are huge. but we're about, I think, about 30 miles or so, a little bit more, to the national park. Now, I have been here before. It is such a neat place. I think it's one of the newest national parks as well. I think it was a national monument for a while and they made it into a national park, if I remember right. But yeah, I was here before I was doing any YouTube. I was on my way actually to one of my Navy reunions, and so I stopped by here. It was later in the afternoon in late July, and I just happened to hit when a monsoon storm was kind of passing through. It is just gorgeous, that white sand up against like the blue rain, and then the mountains in the background had a blue tint to them. That was just amazing. And I spent more time there. I actually took the long loop. There's probably, I don't know, a 3-mile loop, and you actually go back to the boundary of the missile, the test range. And there's a big sign that tells you don't go any farther. And then the loop just kind of follows it and you make your way back. But you go pretty deep back into the dunes there. I don't have time for that today. I'm just kind of stopping kind of quick. I'm actually a little bit later than I was hoping. I was hoping to get here right as it opened, about 7 o'clock. But yeah, I didn't get on the road in time, and we'll get there about 9 o'clock this morning. So, and being a holiday weekend, I'm not sure how busy it's going to be. So it's kind of a test. And you can see not much clouds this time. So this is going to be a new experience for me with a clear sky.
Got my boots on the gas, a map in my hand. CB travelers ready, we're gonna see this great land. Through ghost town echoes and highways wide, with the world in my rear view and you by my side, rolling with the traveler, free as the breeze, chasing those sunsets through the rustling trees, from starlit skies to campfires aglow. Life's an open highway where we're bound to go. Oh, the canyon winds whisper and the mountains call, through valleys and deserts we've seen it all. Every mile's a story, every turn's a surprise. Epic views ahead under these endless skies. cracked and creak told a tale of rust. We keep rolling through the world so wide. The CB traveler spirit is our lifelong guide. Rolling with the traveler, free as the breeze, chasing those sunsets through the rustling trees. From starlit skies to campfires aglow, life's an open highway where we're bound to go. Yeah, yeah. We'll stay in a place where the camping is free. Wake to the dawn, hear the freedom ring. With every star that lights our way, the road keeps calling, it's where we'll stay.
Alright, well, we made it to the Border Patrol station. And I-10 isn't too far away. And El Paso, from here, I think it's like 20 miles as the crow flies. So we're pretty close to the Mexico border. There's a lot of, there were a lot of cars this time. I didn't remember such a long wait.
Guys, have a good day.
Alright, made it through. I keep wondering if they're ever going to want to have me pull over and check the camper. But the windows are kind of tinted, so it's not the easiest to see in there. Anyways, you can see the sand dunes are starting over here on the left. And the entrance to the park is just a little ways, a mile or so down the road, it seems like. Pretty quick. And while I was sitting in that line, did a little investigation, and I was kind of right. This in 1933, it was designated as a national monument, and then in 2019 is when they actually designated it as a national park. That's a little bit farther than I thought. Maybe just a couple miles. But this will be the entrance, the visitor center here on the right at, yeah, this is it. Here we go. A little confusing there, but all right, so the visitor center you can see right here. And I think maybe what we'll do is, let these guys go. So what I think we'll do is drive through the park. Yeah, it's really busy there. So what I'll probably do is just go drive through the park, check that out, and then come back and see if we can take a little quick stop inside the visitor center.
There you go. Be safe. Enjoy your trip. Hi, over to White Sands. Do you mind if I scan that real quick? Do you folks need a brochure?
Yes, please.
All right. Here you go.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good one. Be safe.
Will do. Well, she was really nice. Trying to get through the cars. It's not too bad inside the park. It doesn't look like. It is going to get a little bit warm today, so that might keep some people away. But it is a holiday, so I wasn't sure what to expect. Yeah, this is right at the very edge, the outside edge of the dunes. Just look how flat it is over on the right side of the road. And then the dunes are just starting to get a little bit bigger. And these do have more vegetation. The one thing I didn't do last time was there's a couple little trails. There's like a boardwalk area I didn't go to, and then there's also like a little it's a little trail that goes through the dunes that have this vegetation in it. So I think instead of taking that long walk like I did last time, we'll get up and see the dunes without this just pure white sand, and then come back and check out the other two trails. It is monsoon, just starting the monsoon season, so you can kind of see those clouds up ahead. They're just kind of forming out of nowhere. So they might get some monsoon rain a little bit later this afternoon. And this is where it gets a little more interesting. It's almost like a canyon of just dunes. You drive right through. You could tell if there's a big windstorm or something, they probably have to plow this road. The pavement does end at some point, and you're kind of just driving on compacted sand. Yeah, they just have to keep plowing it, keep those sand dunes at bay across this road. And it is a little bit windy, a little bit of a breeze today. Not bad though.
Wheels are rolling on the two-lane blacktop. Dust kicking high, won't let this heart stop. Friends beside me, laughter fills the air. Chasing sunsets, we're going anywhere. Wide open roads and a sky full of stars. Living our dreams while we travel afar. The world keeps calling, we can't stay still. Wandering souls with a restless will. Stopped in a ghost town, not a soul in sight. Rusty old signs in the pale daylight. Echoes of the past in the creak of the door, telling the tales of those here before. Wide open roads and a sky full of stars. Living our dreams as we travel afar. The world keeps calling, we can't stay still. Wandering souls with a restless will. Camping out by a fire under endless skies. Fiddle tunes play as the moon starts to rise. Dreams as big as the mountains far away. Tomorrow's a promise of another day. Morning comes with the first golden rays. Packing up gear, hitting highways. Every mile we drive, there's a story to tell. Freedom's a song, and we know it well.
Well, now we're starting to get up into the, oh, here's the end of the pavement. It's still pretty smooth because they do keep it graded. It's a little washboarded here, but this is about the area, just not too far up. There will be some bigger parking areas, and that's where people will get out and sled down or board down some of these dunes. I remember as a kid in Glamis, just rolling down those hills. Not something I would even think about doing today. All that sand. I didn't care as a kid. Getting that sand all over you, all in your clothes. Then you got to drive to San Diego like that? No, thanks. But in the visitor center, they do rent little sleds. You can really see how the dunes are starting to lose that vegetation. More of that typical sand dune that you'd think of. I was really hoping to get here earlier in the morning, catch some of that early sun on these dunes. They make for a better picture, but just didn't happen this time. Something else to strive for. Now you can stay an hour after dark or after dusk is when the gates close. So that would be another good time to come in and get some pictures. Now the sun's gonna set to our left behind those mountain ranges, so I'm sure it gets low enough where you can get some good angles on that sun. Here's a big parking area, lots of people over there on those smaller dunes. But they get bigger up here. Here's another pretty big parking lot. Just here on the left. The dunes are a little bit bigger here, but I think, if I remember right, it's been a couple years since I've been here, actually. I think it was 2022 was when I came out here. Yeah, but this road will just, if you continue down here, it just kind of makes a loop and comes back to where that intersection was. So you can kind of just kind of drive around. But yeah, the dunes get a little bit better out here. So yeah, there's really not too many people out here. Of course, it's probably 10 o'clock. It's gonna be pretty cool, pretty warm today. To me, this is just beautiful. Oh yeah, and here, I remember this parking area with these shades. It's kind of funny because they're all facing the same direction. Let's see, what does the sign say? Alkali Flat Trail. Yeah, that's it. This is about the point where the loop starts turning around. But this is the trailhead for that big long loop that I took last time I was here. And this still doesn't look like too many people this far out. Everybody seems to be farther back at the beginning. But I never actually went this far, so this is all kind of new to me. So I think what we'll do is just as we kind of turn up here, I'll try and find another parking area, one of the bigger ones, and see if I can find a dune that's pretty tall that we can kind of go up on top, get a better view. It is a national park, so I won't be able to get any good, and it's restricted. There's a lot of, with the missile range and the Air Force Base, which is really close by, there's no chance of getting a drone up anywhere close to here. But alright, well here's a nice big parking area, so let's get parked and yeah, We'll take a little trip up one of the dunes. See how good of a view we can have. I see a lot of footprints, but I don't see many sled trails. I guess there's one right in front of us. They're hard to see. You can see where people have been sliding down. All right, let's go take a look. Monsoon's not quite hitting yet, but even in this little, we'll see if we can climb up here. Might be easier to climb up over there. Look, they have that gazebo up on top of the dunes over there. Yeah, this is pretty stable sand. Yeah, it's not too bad. This will give you, that's the road we were on before. We just kind of made a loop. I just really enjoy the contrast. The white sand and that bluish background with the mountains. I think that's where I made that's where I stopped and did that loop around. I don't have time to do that today. But from up here, it just looks like it goes on forever out there. And look at this way. I think that's out towards the missile range, that direction. All right, well, I think go try and find that boardwalk area that we passed and then head on to the visitor center. But this is just such a neat place. If you're gonna come here in the monsoon, come later in the afternoon, you'll get some good lightning shows. Instead of following the loop back to that intersection, I've kind of decided to backtrack a little bit and get to that other parking area where that trailhead is, just because you get a good view without the road in the way. It gives you a nice, beautiful view of just the pure dunes and the mountains in the background. Alright, I think right up here next to this van will be good. There's just a couple people here, and we'll see what kind of view we can get from this side. Oh, looks like they were sledding. Try and get up here to the top. It's hard to see, but over there on that ridge is an orange and white post. It's kind of trail markers. Yeah, those pictures I got from the last time I was out here during that monsoon storm, that was great. I'm gonna have to find those pictures and show them to you. Yeah, just another view, and this gives you a good idea how big they are, the scale. There's some people in the dunes down there. Just pure white sand dunes. All right, let's go find that boardwalk. you are definitely going to want to find some sunglasses if you're going to be out here. It could be blinding without them. I think the GoPro has a little bit of polarizer on it, so it's cutting down some of the brightness.
All we need is a place to be and a few good friends for some company. If you'd like to stay, you don't have to leave. We'll leave the lights on and the door unlocked. If you drop on by, you don't have to knock. We're happy to share whatever we've got.
Well, the boardwalk is here on the left, and oh no, it's closed. They have it all burned up. We can't even get in there, and there's nowhere else to park. I wonder if if they're doing some sort of construction on it. Well, it leaves me something to do next time I come by. But we're still gonna go check out it's like a nature walk. It kind of goes off into the dunes that are in that vegetation. So that'll be something new to do. Give us a good idea of what the dunes are like with all the bushes. I know that when I did my walk last time I was here, they get pretty big, some of those bushes, because you can see where the roots had kind of held the sand together, and then the weather, the wind and the rain kind of washed away the looser sand. So that was some pretty interesting formations from that. So maybe we'll see something like that. Alright, so this is the turnoff. Big difference from where we were just at. Look how back in the flatlands. And there's nobody here either. Well, there's a couple cars. Plenty of parking, little restroom. They do have restrooms in all these parking lots. It's really nice. Oh, there's some people going out. Well, I think I'll just pick a spot pretty close by. There's some people coming back. There's some more going out. Looks like they're going way back there though. We're not going to go that far back. Alright. Well, since that boardwalk was closed, I thought we would just stop here. Dune Life Nature Trail, 1 mile loop trail winds through the edge of the white sands where dune life is most abundant. Be prepared for the unexpected. Alright, so we're here. Alright. Let's go. You go from, that's cool. Looks like you're in African safari. And then all of a sudden you end up in these dunes. We're just going to go up to the top here. We're not going to take the full mile loop. But this is really, really cool. All right. Looks like it's just made out of compacted sand, the beginning of this trail. But you can really hear the cicadas going. Let's go this way. Now let's go see this storyboard. That's kind of neat right there. I like that. Wow. Let's see, who eats what? The carnivores, owls, grasshopper mouse, bats, nighthawks, got a roadrunner. Well, let's go up here real quick, see if we can get a better view, because that's about as far as I wanted to go. So it looks like people come up here. Get a little bit better view up here. And that's where the loop is, where the 1 mile trail. All right, it's about as high as I can go. Gives you a really good view. I kind of like this area maybe a little bit better than just the plain dunes. Just because there's a lot more to see. Bushes, like I kind of noticed this. It looks like a miniature version of a sand dune. And little stuff like that. Plus we got that lizard. All right, well, you can see there's the truck. That's where we were. We've got a long ways to go. Short time to get there. So let's, we're gonna head back to the truck, then get over to that visitor center. And then, yeah, we'll hit the road after that. Looks like it's a little bit busy in here, so let's check it out. Oh yeah, it's hopping. Got all sorts of little trinkets, Christmas ornaments. Medicine of the people. Got quite a bit in here. Oh, here's a whole bunch of shirts. Oh, you can get some drinks. It is busy in here. Excuse me. You can get some hats, shirts. Don't need one today, but you can get some sweatshirts. Some White Sands t-shirts. You can get a hoodie tee combo. Boy, it is busy in here. I kind of like this long sleeve shirt. It's cotton. I wish they had these in like that breathable material. All right, I think a little too busy for me. Let's get out of here. Here's the sleds. I think you can, let's see, sled rentals are behind register. These are new sleds. So if you want to buy a new sled, it's 25 bucks. If you want to rent one, it's 15. And if you want to board, 25. All right, let's get out of here. All right. Oh, well, that was fun. No, it's that was busy. That was busy in there. All right. Well, as fun as that was, we need to get on the road. About 20 minutes away is the town of Alamogordo. So we're gonna, there's a museum I want to see there, a pretty cool space museum. And when I was looking online, there was an old building, like an old complex I wanted to check out just to see what it is. It looked really interesting on maps, so I thought we'd try and find that, and then just generally see if we can just drive through the old district. See what we can scrounge up there. So yeah, this whole area is pretty interesting history, especially during World War II. There's an Air Force base nearby called Holloman Air Force Base. That was a big deal during World War II for testing and training aircraft. And then after World War II, the whole Alamogordo became like a center for rocket research. I know that the German scientists right after the war were brought here to help us with our rocket program. And then the one thing everybody knows about is about 60 miles from town is where the Trinity site was. And that's where they tested the first atomic bomb out in the desert. Now, the town itself was founded in 1898, and it was actually a company town for the El Paso and Northeastern Railroads. And when the two brothers, Charles and John Eddy, when they first designed this town, it was designed and planned for wide streets, irrigation canals. So they had a vision and they were trying to follow that, which is, it's kind of similar to a town in Arizona and a mining town. That was a company town for some mines up in Jerome, and that town is Clarkdale. So kind of they kind of run parallel, one for mining and one for railroads. All right, well, we're going to get off the road here, off the freeway. The building that I want to go see, or that whole complex, is actually a sawmill. It's an old sawmill. But I saw it as we were passing by, so I just took the first exit I could see, and we're going to try and make our way back over there. Now, I'd imagine the property owners don't want people walking around, but I just want to see if I can get close enough. You can kind of see it over here on the right. It has a big cone shape and a lot of old buildings. That looks really rusty. Yeah, that really caught my eye when I was doing a little bit of research and things I could do when I was here. I've also noticed how nice this little park area is. Lots of gazebos, places to get out of the sun, eat some sandwiches. All right, well, I think we're supposed to turn here. I'm trying to follow maps, but it seems like it gets a little bit complicated. Oh, that's a cool tower. I didn't realize we were going to be driving right by that. I saw it from a distance. Let's see here. The road I'm looking for is Lawndale. I don't think this is it. Nope. It's just up here. So anyway, I'll find Lawndale, and then I have to kind of loop back around. Is this it? Nope, not this one. I just saw a car turning, so maybe that's it. Yeah, this is where that car turned, and this is Lawndale. All right. All right, well, I'm on the right track now. Got a little bit lost. There were some road closures that the maps didn't take into account, so kind of had to weave my way around. But you can see that building complex up here. There's rusty gold up there. That looks like a lot of sheds of some sort. And there's a really cool old building. Looks like a main building, and there's some other like outbuildings. Now I know the sawmill had some housing for the workers on the property itself. Well, we've got a nice big parking area. Let's see here. I'll just kind of loop back around, but I see the gate, and the gate is all locked up. So it's kind of what I figured. Let me get turned around here. Yeah, it's locked up. Kind of figured that. Liabilities and all that stuff. They don't want people walking around out here. But I've got the drone. I'm going to get that thing up. We'll take an aerial view of it. Wow, look at that. That is such a cool old building. From what I've read, the Community Public Service Company, that was the original name for the New Mexico, Texas Power Company. But that's part of the original structure of the sawmill. The sawmill was built in 1899, just after the town was founded. Of course, it was built for the purpose of the railroads. So they ran a railroad line up into the mountains towards Cloudcroft, and they used that railroad line to bring lumber down, and then they would cut them up for railroad ties for the railroad, And then they also started expanding a little bit. They had a door and sash part. They also had some support shops, and that's what a lot of the outbuildings that I saw. One thing I don't know is that cone-shaped thing. It's some sort of furnace or something. So that would be my guess because it's opened up on the top. But they also had a boarding house out here, and you can kind of see the crane from the railroad. And this it eventually died out in 1947 is when they kind of closed her down. I'm not sure what these buildings were for. Could be for storage. They imagine those railroad ties took a lot of space. But I'd be really interested to know if you know anything about this. Just leave a comment. That'd be great. And at that, I would also just give us an overall view of the area. You can see White Sands National Park back in the background. The railroad tracks, and just look at these gorgeous mountains. What a nice view for this town. And actually, Alamogordo is a little bit bigger, a little larger than I thought. That's all the housing. The historic district is over there. And you can see off in the distance at the base of that mountain is a space museum I want to get to. Well, but everything is on the east side of the road there. Not much over here on the other side of the railroad tracks. All right, well, I wish we could get inside and take a look. That would be very, very interesting. But like I said before, if you know anything else about this that I didn't mention, I'd love to hear about it. Love hearing stories from people who maybe worked here. But yeah, just leave comments. All right, well, I think it's time we got to get over to that Space History Museum. It's not too far. Like I said, it was at the base of that mountain. There were a couple museums that interested me, but with my limited amount of time, I wanted to for sure go to that Space History Museum, which I'm really excited to go see. The reviews are really good, and also it's indoors, so it is getting warm right now, and there's nice air conditioning in there. So, all right, let's get over there and we'll check that out.
Got my boots on the gas, a map in my hand. CB travelers ready, we're gonna see this great land. Through ghost town echoes and highways wide, with the world in my rear view and you by my side, rolling with the traveler, free as the breeze, chasing those sunsets through the rustling trees, from starlit skies to campfires aglow. Life's an open highway where we're bound to go.
Wow, look at the size of that rocket. So it looks like there's an outside area, like a walking museum. That looks cool, that building. I like the architecture of that. Up against those mountains. There's an old jet. Looks like it has some German Luftwaffe symbols on it. Well, let's see here. Yeah, I'll turn left here. I don't know if I can park farther up, but just look how huge this parking area is. And there's hardly anybody here right now. Wow, look at that. There's a lot to see up there. Hey, look. It's my doppelganger truck. Except for it's a stinking Ford. All right, well, let me get parked. I cannot wait to get up there and check out what they have to see. Let's see. This is a German Air Force Tornado Tornado 4511. The PA-2000 Tornado multi-role combat aircraft is an all-weather supersonic twin-engine variable wing sweep dual-seater weapon system. Say that 3 times. That's cool. All right, let's go check it out. Ham's gravesite. Oh, look at that. The monkey. Ham's, let's go see that. It looks like it might be closed off. Maybe we'll have to go around to check it out. That was the first monkey in space probably, right, Ham? We saw this. You can see this from the freeway, this building. We'll get up top, I'll show you something that's kind of cool. Get a good view. Well, look at, there's a lot to see outside. All the different types of rockets and John P. Stapp Air and Space Park. Wow, look at the size of that rocket. Wow. This one's all a V2 rocket engine. That's what the Germans were shooting over it to England. Wow. I did not realize they were that big. Those things are huge. Wow. Wow, that is cool. But what I was going to kind of show you is see if you can see on the horizon just below those mountains in the background. That's the White Sands National Park we were at. You can see how far that thing spans. Wow. There's a lot to see out here. A drone, XQ-4A drone. 1956, a sleek 33-foot drone. So the first time used at Holloman Air Force Base, which is right here in Alamogordo. There's one of those whisper dishes. They have another one over there that you can whisper and hear each other talk just by focusing the sound. There's another. I think that was air defense. We saw one of those at that rest stop area. F1 rocket engine, the most powerful single chamber liquid fuel rocket engine ever flown. Wow, look at the engineering in that. Wow. Just wow. There's some steelworker friends that might be interested in that weld. Oh man. Every little part had to be designed. And this is the back part of it. Wow, how much heat do these take? Man, simply amazing. What the heck was that?
Did you hear it?
It's a Lance missile, mobile field artillery tactical surface to surface. SRBM. I'm gonna go look at this. What is that thing? It looks like it could be in Star Wars. This PTV. That's a parachute test vehicle. This unmanned sled was the first liquid-fueled rocket-powered vehicle to be run on a high-speed test track. The rocket burned liquid oxygen. You can get to Mach 1.2 in 4.5 seconds. Wow. Intercept Ground Optical Recorder, IGOR, was a missile tracking telescopic camera used at White Sands Missile Range from 51 to 65. So they could track those way back there, way back then. Wow, that thing is big. Wow. Little Joe 2. Solid fueled Little Joe 2 was used to test the Apollo launch escape system and verify the performance of the command module. So that was used to test the command module. Just look at all the rivets. Ah, the crawler transport shoe. This is just one shoe link from the treads of the crawler transporter. Wow, look at the size of that thing. It's just the engineering feat of just getting the shuttle out to the launch pad. That is amazing. What's this? X-37B. The Boeing X-37B orbital test vehicle is a reusable unmanned spacecraft. It is boosted into space by Atlas V rocket. That's a mock-up. Huh. So they would use this underwater to train for extravehicular activity, spacewalks underwater, simulated zero gravity. Looks like it's made out of fiberglass. All right. Be interesting to see what's inside. Let's go check this out. Let's see what the hours are. I think the only day they're closed is Tuesday, and Sunday's noon to 5, 10 to 5, every other day. All right, let's go check this out. Adventure begins here. Rancher Rockets got some candy, shirts, hats, some drinks, some little costumes, little space costumes. Got some helmets up there. We're waiting for an elevator. So we go all the way up to the 5th floor. And then go all the way up to the 5th floor and work our way down is what she said. So, wow, look at this. Space cowboy suit. The suit on display is a replica of the Advanced Crew Escape suit. From Space Cowboys. The ultimate pad leader. Gunther Wendt at the hatch of Apollo 13 signals for the next astronaut to board. Last stop before space. White room gags, astronaut level, and Buzz Aldrin presented a pad leader with a giant 1 million unemployment check in the white room. All right, we're just gonna wait for an elevator now. Level 5.
Starts on 5.
Starts on 5 and you work your way down. Welcome to the driver's seat of the space shuttle. Well, even on the elevator, they're giving you information. Canadian Space Agency astronaut. Oh, there's R2-D2 first, right off the bat. Translate SciTech SciFact exhibition on level 3. All sorts of patches.
I'm gonna see if Tartarine's written in hand.
Wow, look at all these patches. They give a history too, from 3500 BC. Construction begins on Stonehenge. And then go all the way up to October 4th, 2004. Spaceship One becomes the first privately funded manned craft to successfully complete 2 round trips. That's what the Dreamers. That's a replica telescope of something. White Sands Missile Range. So we get a good view of that from up here. Here it is. Space chimps, Enos and Ham, training at Holloman Air Force Base. Huh. These graves out here. Colonel George V. Holloman. Yeah, so from up here you can really see the base of those mountains, White Sands National Park. And that's Alamogordo, just below us. It's the only area suitable for the purpose. 1946 Air Marshal Command USAF search for property. So here's the park. Here's Holloman Air Force Base. That's where we're at. And there's the space harbor. Space Trails is a product of New Mexico's Museum of Space History. Well, here's Roswell. Buzz Aldrin. Hard hat worn by Apollo 11 Commander Module Pilot Michael Collins. It's in good shape still. Flown to lunar surface on board Apollo 14. Wow. Ooh. That's where the tape was. Cartridge for data acquisition camera. So that thing goes on the other side. Wow, they have a ton of stuff in here. Wow. Lunar module model. The Apollo lunar module was a two-stage spacecraft designed to transport astronauts between lunar orbit and the moon's surface. Amazing. All right, what do we have over here? Oh, that's the Trinity Site Monument. There's a little mock-up. These must be some of the rocks from around there. Kind of showing some of the scientists. The first explosion of an atom bomb. Wow. Oh, I see. So this ramp just kind of takes you down. Mercury. What's that? And there's the Gemini flying in twos. Then Apollo off to the moon. Wonder what is this? A gargoyle. One of the U.S. Navy's first guided missiles. 1945. What do we have here? People have been stealing the keys. There's some missing. Crystal growth. Larger and better crystals can be grown in weightlessness than on Earth. There's a joystick. Wow, look at this. There's Ham. So this is his restraint suit. You can see him wearing it there. And then the Mercury primate capsule. Look at this. Primate capsule part of National Air and Space Museum. So that's what he was sitting in. And you could see where they had the loops to strap him in. See all the eyes in the leather in the suit, restraint suit. They have him in here too, so he could be tied in. Space chimp lives.
Designed to withstand intense heat and tremendous pressure from the time of insertion until the actual moment of launch.
Astrochimps preparing for space.
Conditions are closely watched.
Huh.
Cautions that mark the long months of preparation are continued to the very end.
Alan Shepard Jr.
But Uncle, you did very good. Yeah. But you just...
No, I also lost the entire over.
Wow, look at the size of that. Wow. I didn't know, didn't even think about that. How big those chunks of rock are up there. And there's the driving around in. Please follow ramps. Okay.
Oh, yes.
John Paul Stepp, the fastest man alive. The fastest man alive. Colonel Dr. John Paul Stepp, 1910 to 99, flight surgeon and Air Force officer. He rode the rocket sled Sonic Wind #1 on December 10th, 1954, 632 miles per hour in 5 seconds. Wow. Jeez. I just kind of noticed this, but down there in that shed with the two doors, looks like there's a sled with a seat on it. Looks like there's a storyboard, so we'll be able to check that out when we leave. Have to go check that out. That'll be neat. So we're on level 4, so that was all level 5. Rockets in history. The shame of rocketry. Yeah, they developed it to bomb London, and the Netherlands, I think it was. And the guy who designed these first rockets helped us get into space. Kind of a controversial thing. CIA brought him over. And then he got into our rocket program. Started. So there he is, Braun. Good thing we got him before the Russians did. The Soviets. Wow, there is just a ton of stuff. And it was, of course, if you're going to come here, make sure you check ahead before, but it was $8 to get in, and my veterans discount, $7. So there is a lot to see and it's really affordable. Rocket refueling helmet. Oxidizer fill, assembly name.
Everybody look this way.
Thor Able series, first launch April 1958. The Thor Able is American expendable launch system sounding rocket. Accelerometer, gyroscope. That's just amazing. Now you know when they say a rocket scientist. That plays. Here's another Nike Cajun. Look at that view, straight on. That's cool. That's cool right there. This is so nice. Get an elevator all the way up and then you just kind of cruise down. Sensors and satellites. Wow, look at this.
Over here's Star Trek.
It's an old satellite, huh? Small satellite. You get a little bit more complicated. Is that like Sputnik? That cylinder, that sphere with the 4 probes? So Explorer 10 March 1961. That's that one. Alouette flew in 1962, still orbiting inactive. Wow. Explorer 46. Flight dates 1972. And that's the Vanguard 2. That's what that is. 1959 is when they sent that up.
GPS in you.
A neat display. That's what you look like with visible light. That's with ultraviolet lights. And then you got infrared. Yeah, you can tell the Osmo is a little bit warm. All this. That's a neat display. All right, let's. All right, another ramp. You kind of just spiral around the outside of the building, and then you go in the middle. There's a ramp that goes down the middle with all the displays. What's this? Launch complex blockhouse window. Wow, look at this side. Look how thick that glass is. Wow. Let's see, 15 layers of glass and weighs over 200 pounds. Man. That's the real full version here. Oh, and that's the end. That's the end here. So you get the end view, what it looks like, and then looking through it. Little video of the rocket taking off. The Vostok. Carried the first human, Yuri, into orbit. There's a model of that one. Either model or he was this really small dude. In-flight exerciser. Segment of Gemini's capsule heat shield. Oh, what an amazing museum. Face mask used for cosmic ray detection experiments during the Apollo program. Wow. Recoilless hammer for spacewalk, so this was flown. Right hand space glove suit, flown. So a lot of this stuff's been into space. The real McCoys. We'll come this way, take a look at these. Here's some replica spacesuits. Mercury. There's a Gemini. Look at the boots. Those are like a canvas of some sort. And these are more like a regular boots. It's a Soviet work suit. Another one. Skylab 1 in-flight garment.
Good job.
There you go.
Apollo 17 moon rock. That thing is all in that acrylic, isn't it? Wow. And then they have Apollo 17 moon watch. It's an Omega. Stopped at, what, 10 minutes to 3? Soviet space food. Space shuttle food system. I guess they were sponsored, huh? Gemini freeze-dried rehydratable food. And in the Mercury program, they got pureed meats and vegetables in squeeze tubes. An Apollo A7L suit. Oxygen purge system. On the moon. That's what's inside those packs they're carrying.
Which one did you do the hard one? I just did it.
Wow.
It's probably the same one.
Oh, thank you. Is this the one? This is all movies.
Skylab food warming tray. The Skylab model, that is a 1/48th scale. Skylab in-flight shoes. Triangular mounts were attached to the bottom of the shoes, which would fit inside the openings in the deck. The astronauts rotated their feet and the mounts would hold them in place while working. Wow, that's how they stayed in place. They were
Arrakis is Dune. Yeah, Dune.
What do we have here? Eureka Environmental Methane Scrubber. It's even autographed. Oh, Starship Trooper uniforms. These 3 costumes were worn during the production. Wow, look at that. Firefly and Serenity spacesuit. Stranger Things hazmat suit. Galaxy Quest suit. Oh, that's neat. spaceman spacesuit. TV series Castle spacesuit. They put a lot of effort into these for the movies. This is a For All Mankind Helios spacesuit. Ooh, they have a transporter. The Tribbles. I remember the Tribbles. Fictional alien creature. This is a prop. It's a prop from the series. There she is holding. Oh, there's a. I remember that. They kept breeding. Oh, Star Trek, The Real Thing. Enterprise miniature. A little miniature inside the cube. And there's Captain Kirk holding it. This is really cool. USS Enterprise, NCC 1701 die-cast model. Some toys. I remember this movie. John Travolta, L. Ron Hubbard. I hear the book is great, but the movie was, I don't know, rushed, I should say. That was a neat floor. I enjoyed that little break. All right, let's see here. I think we have one more floor. Yeah, this is level 2. Oh, is this RC stuff? This is an RC helicopter.
She skipped all the instructions.
The Wall of Firsts. Discover your galactic weight. Well, I'll tell you how much you weigh in space. The moon and Mars. Let's see what's down here. Remote controls, it looks like. Hercules tone transmitter. Wow. Look at that. Conquest Airtronics. Compare those to the drones these days. The screens are all inside the controller now. These old model plane engines. So it looks like if you want to get a picture, with in space against this board, you can get a little selfie. They have all adult sizes. Let's see, I think we'll go this way. So there's lots of stuff for kids to do. They have those I can't think of it, where the kids will, how do I get out of here? Oh, I think I have to take the elevator down. This was the last floor. All right, well, I'm gonna get over to the elevator. Man, I'm still trying to think of that word. Simulator, that's it. Simulator. Got it. Now I can sleep tonight. Simulator. Oh, all right, well, that is it. This is the second floor, and now I'm taking an elevator down to the main entrance. All right, well, that was well worth it. I'm so glad we came here. What's this? Oh, I wanted to go check out F-117A egress trainer. It trains them how to get in and get out. Well, you can't even see in there. Oh, here, this is better. That's a seat so they can practice getting in and out. Wow. It's a stealth bomber, huh? Not a lot of room. But I think down here was that sliding thing. Yeah, right over here. Looks like there's a little memorial there too. I wonder if that is Ham's gravesite. Not sure what that is. Oh, here we go. Oh no, this is for, it's just a memorial for astronauts who perished. Wow. Space Shuttle Columbia during re-entry. The Challenger, January 28th. The crew of Apollo 1 during a launch pad test at Cape Kennedy, Florida. Gus Grissom, Edward White, Roger Chaffee. This is what I wanted to see, because this is a daisy track, water break. The water break was part of the daisy track deceleration system. It was used to stop the sled at the end of the run and provide very specific G-force deceleration rate. Let's see here. So there they are riding it. There it is. Wow. They can probably rotate that seat for different G-force stuff. And there's the building we were at. We were in. Oh, wait, there's a trail right there. Let's run up there real quick and see what that is. There's like a little archway. And I think, oh, that's Indian Wells Trail. So you can hike up into those hills. You're there. Definitely don't have time for that. What a fun trip this was. Hope you like it. It's just, if you did, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Help the channel grow, helps me get out and do more stuff like this. And comment too. I try and get back to you as much as I can, as soon as I can. Yeah, they just poured these slabs, so that must be a new addition. International Space Hall of Fame. So here's his grave site. Astrochimp Ham. Ham was trained at Holloman Air Force Base. His name is acronym for Holloman Aeromedical. There we go. Redstone rocket launched from the Cape Canaveral, Florida, reaching a top speed of 1,500 miles an hour and altitude of 155 miles. And recovered at sea, downrange from the launch. Ham proved mankind could live and work in space. All right, well, there's the truck. All right, well, that's going to do it from the Space History Museum. It was a great place, well worth the time spent. But anyways, I'm going to sign off, and just remember, never say goodbye, always see you later.